Hey gang, so today we're looking at something sent to me by Vibe EDC. This guy creates the absolute coolest stuff. I don't know, I love everything he does. It's crazy, it's different, it's things you've never even thought of. This is the Latchet. This thing is mechanical, it's clicky. Like, I don't know where he thinks this stuff up, but this is fantastic. We're gonna have a look at it. I'm gonna gush over it because it's fun. I'm gonna try not playing with it in the middle of the intro anymore because I know it makes it hard to hear. So I'm just gonna shut up. Let's just get right into the review. It's the Latchet. Let's go. Okay, here we have the Latchet. Now it's called Latchet because we've got the ratchet sound and a bit of a latch action, I guess. Emil was kind of coming up with the names, and I think he was sort of just trying to figure something out, and he liked to combine the ideas, and I mean, I think it works. It's a Latchet. There's nothing else out there that has this name or this configuration, so it's pretty unique. Okay, so the first thing I am going to do is remove this lanyard because, well, I shouldn't say the first thing. The first thing is let's just look at it. So this is mechanical in the sense that it's just working off of springs and balls. We have this sound from the balls rubbing against the inside here, this whole little groove system. We have, as you just saw, me click this into place. And when I press this button, we get this kind of fast ratchet action, I guess. And what this is doing is this magnet and this magnet are have opposite polarity. So when you push it up, there's opposite polarity, but these magnets, like everything just still kind of sticks together. So through his wizardry, I guess. So when you hit this button, it releases, it creates enough of a gap between the magnets holding this together so that then the magnets that are reverse polarity are pushing it down. So there is something at work. To be honest, I can't say if these are the reverse polarity or if these are the ones like this one and this one are holding it in place. But there are two sets of magnetic forces at work. One is the reverse polarity because the minute you hit this button, it sends it flying. But of course, the other one is the proper polarity that actually holds this in place. So you have these two kind of opposing magnetic forces. Again, very cool, very wild. And so we have that second action. The third action is, if you can see here, let me see here, I'll try this again up a little closer. So we have magnets inside. Just gonna get something to point this out with. So we have these magnets and we have these bars. So when I push down on the bar, there's kind of like a release here. So the reason there's kind of an indent in here is not only is it a slide, but it's also this great clicker. And you can even just click the individual bars. So this is, again, I mean, this guy just comes up with the coolest stuff, honestly. But now, the one thing I am not a fan of in this case is this lanyard. I find it comes with this lanyard attached. It's too long. It's too long to be of any use. I think if this was just this short little stubby thing, then maybe you could kind of wrap your finger in here, I guess, and then you would have something to sort of hold on to. But this long neck here, I find just doesn't really, I mean, you know, you could wrap it and stuff, but I just find it gets in the way. It's too long, so it gets in the way. So the first thing I did was figured out how to take it out. And inside here, we have this little bar. And we've got the bar, and you may or may not be able to see, but let me see if I can move that forward a bit. You can see the little loop of the lanyard in here. So what happens is this little bar is really just acting like just kind of a pin that keeps this lanyard in place. So what we'll do is you just need something really, really thin because there's actually a hole here that lets you push it through. So putting something thin in here, you'll see how it just pops that little pin right out? Okay, let's just make sure it's in focus here. So as I push, it just lifts the pin right up. And then I can actually push forward on this little lanyard rope and just kind of pull it out. And that's it. And then this pin comes out completely, by the way, but there's no point to taking it out. And then you just put it down and it just stays in there. It's magnetic as well. I believe there's a little magnet in there holding it in place. So with this out of the way, I just find now you've got, there's just something a bit more, I don't know, it just feels a little better not having that long thing in the way. Again, it would be different if it was like a small ring or something for your finger to go through, but I think without that, it's just nice having it clean. So we are going to take this apart. This is not going to be very long because there's really only one reason that we would take this apart, and that is to try out the extra strength springs that come with it. So inside here is we'll call it the lightest weight spring. So this is very much like a zipper feel. Now let's take it apart and let's switch out the springs because each spring gives you a little bit more of a kind of a click. So we'll just take this off. Now don't worry, nothing's going to come flying out. There's no springs or anything sending this forward. So here's a trick. When you first try to take these out, they may not come out smooth. And there's a reason for that, and that's because it's sticking to the magnet. So what you have to do is once you push it down and you release it from this little magnet on this side, then you can just slide it forward and it comes right out like that. So you do the same with the other one, push down and then slide forward. There we go. Because remember too, they're also attached to this end. And then you can just slide the bars right out. Now, inside here, with all those pieces off, as we lift, everything's getting a little magnetized here, we have our one ball. All right, yeah, let's play nice here, guys. And we have our spring inside. So right now, this is the lightest or the weakest strength. Now this is also slightly magnetized inside, so the spring itself doesn't just pop out, as you can see. Okay, so we have the lightest strength. Now what's nice, which I'm going to show you in a second, is you can test these without putting it apart, or without putting it all back together. So this is the medium strength, and then we'll take the ball. Now here's what's important, is two things to remember. One, this magnet goes towards this side with this magnet. And also, to get it back on, what I find is easiest is to put it down, put in your spring, put in your ball, and then just put this upside down. But see, that's where the polarity starts kicking in, where it wants to sort of like shoot away. And then we just insert the rods back in, make sure you go through the spacing here, and that's it. So this is a stronger. And then we'll go for the ultimate tactile feedback. So you can see how easy this is, how quickly you can take this whole thing apart. Now this is the strongest spring. Now I guess you can also, because there's sort of like a bit of a magnet magnetization in there with the springs, they will sit. So if you want, you can line it up. Just find the ball wherever the ball is at and just kind of push it down. It just, whatever your preference is. I'll get that other rod in place just before I make sure everything is secure. We're good. Now this one is super strong. I'm not a fan of this one at all. This is just way too hard. But I mean, what's great is this setup will cater to anyone when you start looking at all of the different options here. I mean, you know, somebody who likes it like really strong clicky like that, or medium or light. And I am a fan of the light. I like that little sort of zippery feel. So I'm just gonna take this out. Now, okay, so you notice what happened there? I took this off, I wasn't holding this down, and the force kind of shot the ball out a little bit because I'm using the stronger spring. So that's something to be careful with. You can also, you'll notice those stronger springs tend to stick out further because they're pushing harder. So here, let's try this. We'll just put the ball in the middle, springs inside, and just put it right on top. Then we just run it through. Get in there. That's it. Now, I'm not sure the pricing yet, so you're gonna have to head over to the Vibe EDC Facebook page and just kind of keep your eyes open, because I know these are early stage. This is going to be coming out, but I know Mill is sort of working on the price. But again, he makes the most addictive things. Like I can't put them down. And this is, again, one that I play with all the time. This is a perfect car fidget. Perfect. Nothing comes out. You can click. You got a little button on the top. Like, yeah, these are awesome. Okay, gang, that is the Latchet by Vibe EDC. There it is. Thanks for watching.